It's another episode of Tracker, and it is another episode that focuses on the supernatural side of things. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment, here to review Tracker Season 2, Episode 5. This one was called Preternatural, and honestly, it was just another supernatural vibe, a supernatural feeling to this season. And whether it be like the UFOs or the spaceships or whatever, this one we had like this female, this girl who can heal people by making potions and stuff like this, and it just feels very supernatural. It really does. Not, I don't mean supernatural in terms of the show Supernatural, but they're adding lots of supernatural elements, and I don't know if they're just trying to capitalize on that. The fact that they've got what's his name in Dean Winchester. I forget the guy that plays him, but obviously he's come in. He plays Colter's brother, Russell Shaw, and I just think they're trying to capitalize on the fact that here we've got Dean Winchester from Supernatural. So we're going to do like a lot of supernatural type shit. Now, yeah, the Supernatural show did have supernatural stuff in it, of course, and they kind of did hunt demons and things like that. But yeah, it just seems to be like they're trying to turn Tracker into that kind of show. And honestly, I'm not really digging it. I think Season 2 has been a big letdown so far. At the end of Season 1, I thought it was a decent show, but the main thing that was keeping me interested was the story behind the disappearance and death of Colter's father. And was his brother responsible? Was his mother responsible? And I kind of wanted to see what that would lead to. But so far in Season 2, we've not touched upon that whatsoever. And all 5 episodes have just been standalone episodes where Colter takes a job, finds bad guys, rescues the good person, collects his money, and everyone lives happily ever after. It's just the same formula being repeated here, episode after episode. And that's what happens here. Colter takes a job after getting contacted from Thelma and Renee. And also, I really do not like Thelma and Renee sharing the same apartment, because they're sharing like this building, this work office place. And I like Renee, and I cannot stand Thelma. So now it feels like every time I see Renee, I've got to see Thelma. So you're having to get, it's like a 2-for-1 special. I don't like it. Anyway, Colter gets a job to track down Emmeline Trace. Now, she is the brother of Jasper. Their parents are dead. They live in this like town. Nobody seems to like them, and it's because Emmeline is a healer, and they think that they think that healers are bad news, or they don't like the supernatural shit. They don't believe in the voodoo crap. So Emmeline's went missing. Colter has to try and find her. He goes to her former workplace. The manager there doesn't really want to talk to him. Kind of just tells him that you need to go. Colter then speaks with one of the female employees there, Barbara, and she basically tells Colter that, yeah, Emmeline worked here, I liked her, but she was weird. You know, she didn't really do anything on her break. She would go and stand outside and like walk around in circles and look at trees and shit like this. So we're getting the vibe here that Emmeline is this weird person. Plus, it's believed that Emmeline working there replaced somebody that used to work there. So Barbara tells the story of how this guy once came down. I forget his name, but I think it was Barn. I think the guy was called Barn. So, or Travis. I think his name was Travis. So I think it was Travis. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to go with Travis. So his wife got replaced at the diner that they worked at, and he once came down and he was like angry with Emmeline. So Colter believes that he's the one behind the kidnapping. He goes to Travis's place. He breaks in. He holds Travis at gunpoint, and Travis then tells Colter no, that he's not angry with Emmeline, and it had nothing to do with Emmeline replacing his wife at their place of work. He wanted to speak to Evelyn, to thank Evelyn, because Evelyn made a potion for his wife who was ill, and his wife couldn't have kids, I believe, and then Emmeline made the potion, and all of a sudden it healed his wife, and now his wife is okay. So if he thanks Emmeline, if he sees Emmeline, he wants to thank Emmeline. And I knew this was going to happen because Travis is a black guy, and in this show, Only white men can be bad. Only white men can be villains. Only white men can be evil. People of color are always the protagonists. People of color are always the good guys, and the bad guys are always white male, because that's how this show operates. Uh, it's very political. So yeah, I'm not really surprised about that. As soon as I seen this guy was black, I just knew that he couldn't be the guy that kidnapped Emmeline. It turns out a bunch of white hillbillies have kidnapped Emmeline. So yeah, how predictable. So honestly, it kind of reminded me of like the Hills of Eyes. So a bunch of white people have just kidnapped Emmeline because their father's sick, and they're like holding her hostage to try and heal her father. Colter breaks in, kidnaps her, gets her out of there, shoots one of the guys. They then give chase. They end up at like this abandoned factory where Colter almost takes them out one by one. But a couple of the hillbillies get the jump on Colter, and they shoot him with a bow and arrow. And Colter's like bleeding out. And then one of the brothers runs down, one of the white guys, and he tells the other one that, oh, it actually worked. She healed our father. Now, at this point, instead of the hillbillies just apologising and trying to get help for Colter, instead of letting Emmeline go, they decide to double down. And they go, well, since she can heal people, we're going to kidnap her. We're going to hold her prisoner. She's going to be our prisoner for life. And they're just going to let Colter die. So they weren't even content letting these people be bad guys. Then they turned them into complete monsters that were willing to like kidnap this girl forever and just let Colter die. But Emmeline then says that she can not rewind. She can retract basically what she did, so she can take away the healing powers if she uses the blood of the knife and she cuts her own blood onto it or whatever, something dumb like that. And they believe it. They believe it. So she says if they don't leave and if they don't go away, then she will undo the healing potion, and then their dad will die. So they then just leave, and then Colter's like, oh, can you really do that? She's like, no. And Colter's about to die, but she then heals Colter, so Colter survives, and then we see Colter at the end getting put into an ambulance or whatnot, and Colter's reunited with Emmeline, and Emmeline's brother, and Jasper then gives Colter the money for finding his sister, and it's just the same formula really. Colter turns up, he investigates. He finds the missing person. There's an evil white guy who's kidnapped them. Colter then, takes care of the evil white guy or kills the evil white guy. And then that's it. He collects his reward. Everyone lives happily ever after. So that was it, really. Episode wasn't the worst episode, but honestly, I don't think it was the best episode either. I'll give this one a 5 out of 10. I think it's probably the best episode of Season 2 so far. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. But yeah, just the identity politics that this show is playing is just disgusting, quite frankly. It's like every bad person has to be a white male, and every good person has to be a person of color. It's I mean, we're a lot of averages here. Surely you're going to get like one good white guy and one bad person of color, but not on Tracker. It's just whatever. Very, very woke, guys, but I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. Let me know your thoughts down below. Catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.